The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon. This is Hemant Rathore and I'm from Cognixia and I'm going to be the instructor for today's webinar. I hope you are able to hear me without any problem or any disturbance and thank you all for joining this webinar. Let me know, if you are able to hear me. You can ping me in the chat window so that I can make sure, I'm audible to everyone without any problem. So we are going to start this webinar right away. Hey, hi, yeah. Thanks for your confirmation. Okay, perfect. So I got plenty of confirmation, and I think it's good that all of you are able to hear me without any problem. Okay, so before starting the webinar, let me, introduce myself again. So this is Hemant Rathore. I'm currently working as a data scientist for one of the leading analytics and data science consultancy service providing company out of India. And today in today's webinar, we are going to cover not only some introductory concepts of data science, like as in what is data science, how is it being implemented nowadays in real world at the organization level, at the business level. Okay, what are different use cases generally we deal with while working on a data science project. But our focus is also going to be the implementation of data science using Python. So we are going to cover as in how Python is helping to build and deliver the data science and machine learning solutions efficiently in a better way as compared to other statistical programming languages like R or SAS or others. Okay, so that is going to be the focus, that is going to be the agenda, main agenda for today's webinar. And thank you all for joining this webinar. I hope you are going to enjoy this. So let us quickly go ahead and start with today's session. So this is going to be the high level agenda for today's session. What exact topics we are going to cover in today's session? So let us have a look at all the topics. We are going to start with some very basic questions to make the foundation of data science and machine learning. So firstly, we are going to discuss some very important questions, as in what is data science, what exactly you are supposed to learn from the technology wise, from the programming languages wise, like what tools exactly you are supposed to know, followed by that prerequisites. Okay, so that is also one of the biggest question generally we see among the aspirants, am I eligible to get into data science or not. So we will talk about prerequisites, we will talk about target audience, who is more suitable to get into data science, what are the minimum criteria to get into data science. Followed by that, we will also give you a clear understanding of a data science project life cycle. Okay, so those who already know all these basic stuff, okay, like I know what is exactly data science, what am I supposed to learn, and whether I'm eligible or not. But I'm more interested exactly how the data science project is implemented from a data science project life cycle point of view. What different steps, what different phases of data science project life cycles are there. So we are going to follow a very famous, very important methodology, crisp dm model. Okay, so we'll talk about that model. This is a data mining model which has been adopted by all the data scientists across the world to implement the standard data science projects. Then finally, we will start Python. So we will have a introduction to Python, what Python is providing to you, how Python is leading its way, when it comes to data science and machine learning project implementation. Okay, so we will talk about the importance, we'll talk about the properties of Python, which is making it distinct as compared to any other statistical programming language, and that is why it is making rapid growth. Okay, we will also try to understand how Python is helping actually data science project implementation, development, deployment. Okay, so we will try to understand the importance of Python in terms of the major expectations from a data science programming language. Okay, so that is going to be the agenda for today's session. During the webinar, you can feel free to ask your questions, comments, your feedback, whether you are liking it, you are not liking it. If you have any questions, queries, for sure please feel free to ask your questions, queries, comment, feedback, everything. And I will cover certain part of the presentation, some of the topics, and I will definitely then go back to your questions, queries. Then I will again continue with some more topics, and then I will pay attention towards your pings, your queries. So in that way, at a regular interval of time, I will pay attention towards your queries, and I will try to answer as much as queries, as much queries as possible within the given time period. Okay, so please feel free to ask your questions, queries, if you have any, in the chat window, and we will be able to uh, answer your questions, your queries in the given time. Okay. Okay, so some of the folks are asking if it is started already. Yeah, it has been started already, and I hope you are able to hear me. Okay, and I would request you all to use the chat window option rather than raising your hands or anything. It would be helpful for me to understand your query if you are using the chat window option. So you must be having a chat window option. Okay, so using the chat window option, you can ask your questions or queries if you have any. So we already have hundreds of folks already joined the webinar, so thanks for the overwhelming response, and I'm pretty much excited about today's session. I hope you are also equally uh, excited. So let us go ahead and start with today's session. Okay, so give me a minute. Actually, I'm just making some setting from my side, so then we will proceed. Hello, everyone. This is Hemant. I hope you are able to hear me. Yeah, hi. So sorry about the some technical issues because of which I was not audible. So we are now just going to start the session, and thanks for joining this session. This is Hemant Rathore, and I am currently working as a data scientist for one of the leading analytics solution providing company. I'm going to be the presenter for today's session. Thank you all for joining this session, and I can see already hundreds of participants have joined the session so far. So let us go ahead and start this session. We are right on time, and we can see plenty of folks have already joined the session. So this is going to be the session on data science with Python, and our focus is going to be the implementation of data science projects and machine learning projects with the help of Python. So we will not only try to understand what is data science, what exactly data science project and machine learning projects are implemented, but our focus is also going to be Python, how Python is exactly helping the implementation of the data science or machine learning project efficiently and in a better way as compared to any other programming language like R or Python. So that is going to be the main focus area for today's webinar. Let us quickly go through the actual agenda of today's webinar. So we are going to start this webinar with some very basic and very important questions from data science and machine learning. Firstly, we are going to start with introduction to data science, and we are going to cover like exactly what data science is. So we will try to understand the definition of data science. We will also cover some very important questions which generally data science aspirants have, as in what a newbie to data science is supposed to learn, what tools, what technologies, what particular areas a newbie is supposed to cover, is supposed to learn if he or she wants to get into data science. What are the prerequisites and what are the target audience? Okay, so what you are supposed to know at minimum if you want to get into data science, who are the persons who are more suitable, who are the folks who are more suitable to get into data science. Followed by that, we are also going to cover the very famous data science life cycle model, which is actually crisp dm model, which is going to talk about the life cycle, exactly how a data science project is implemented in real life. So generally, we know what is data science, what is machine learning, but it is not exactly sure how in real life, in phase wise manner, a data science project is implemented. So we are also going to talk about that very famous data science project implementation, basically data mining project implementation model, crisp dm model. Followed by that, we will try to understand about Python. So what is Python, how is Python is helping to implement data science and machine learning solutions, what properties and characteristics is it has got, which is making Python a distinctive programming languages and ahead in race as compared to other statistical programming languages. Okay, so that is going to be the overall agenda for today's session, and I would like to thank you all again for joining this webinar. At any point in time during the session, you have any question, queries, comments, feedback, please feel free to share your questions, query and comments during the session, and I will pay attention towards your queries, your questions in timely manner. So after finishing the topic, I will pay attention, I will try to answer your questions and queries as much as possible. Okay, so you can feel free to ask your question, raise your questions, queries, and also we would love to have your feedbacks meanwhile. So if you are liking anything, please feel free to share your feedback, your positive feedback, your negative feedback. It is going to really help us a lot. Okay, so I think it is good time, and we can go ahead and start with today's session. So I would request all of you to post your questions or queries in the chat window. I think you must be having a chat window available on your go-to meeting panel. So using the chat window option, you can post your queries, comments, and feedback and everything. I hope I'm audible to everyone now. Okay, so it's time to get started with the session. Okay, so let us go ahead and start with today's first question. What is data science? Okay, so it is a very basic question, and maybe you must be wondering why we have included this particular question. So as per my past experience, I have interviewed many folks, many aspirants, data science aspirants in past, and you will not believe me, out of many folks, I was not able to find a single aspirants who was able to answer this question correctly, not perfectly, but at least correctly. Okay, so what is missing here? And I'm not talking about the very accurate, very exact definition or theoretical definition of data science, but it have been seen that participants or aspirants are not able to even explain correctly what is data science. Okay, so that is something which is missing among the data science aspirants nowadays. Even some of the folks who know the technical aspects, the technical things very well, they are not able to answer this question precisely, accurately. Okay, so you are expected to at least know, you should be able to at least know what exactly data science is before getting into data science, before making yourself expert into something. It is highly important that you understand exactly what we are going to learn. And I am not talking about again theoretical definition or a very accurate definition, but if in the interviews, if you are asked this question, you should be able to answer this question with all the accuracy. Whatever you are going to explain, it should be accurate. It might not be complete, it might not be perfect, but it should not be incorrect, it should be correct. Okay, so firstly I'm going to go through one of the very famous definition of data science that you can find in the books, in the references, and followed by that I'm going to explain this in very practical and layman language to all of you, so that you can understand it very well. You don't need to recall, you don't need to remember the definition of data science, but whenever you would be asked, you would be able to explain this very well. Okay, so what is data science? Data science, also known as data driven science, is an interdisciplinary field about the scientific methods, processes, systems to extract the knowledge or insights from the data present in various form, either structured or unstructured. Okay, this is the very accurate, very short, and very complete definition of data science, but you don't need to remember it. Okay, let me explain this definition to you. Definitely, data science is data driven science because data is the central entity here. Okay, you are going to use the data. Okay, that the data is going to be the foundation here. But everything, like all the traditional methods, traditional business intelligence, analytics, everywhere we are using data. What is so special about data science? How it is different from the traditional business intelligence and analytics? Okay, so firstly, data science is not about a particular business, particular domain, or particular area. It is an interdisciplinary field where you use the scientific methods, processes, system, technologies, tools, algorithm, knowledge, anything from any areas of the science in order to extract the useful information, in order to extract the knowledge, in order to extract the insights present in the data. And further, your data can be present in any form. It can be structured data, it can be unstructured data, it can be semi-structured data. So your data can be present in any format. Even it can be present in some other format, non-text format, like it can be audio data, video data, images data. Okay, so data can be anything. But when you use the scientific methods, processes, techniques, technologies, tools, some programming languages like Python, R, statistical tools, some statistics concepts, mathematics concept, probability concept, analytics, dashboards. So when you use everything which belongs to science, or anything that belongs to science, in order to extract some very important, some very useful insights or knowledge from the data, then it is data science. Now, when I say the insights or when I say the knowledge, I am not saying that we are extracting very obvious thing. No, that is something which is done by the traditional analytics, that is something which is done by the traditional business intelligence. So that is the biggest difference between data science and traditional business intelligence or traditional analytics. So traditional business intelligence or traditional analytics is also doing the same thing. We are using the scientific methods, they are using the technologies or analytics tools and programming languages in order to extract some obvious type of information. Okay, for example, what is happening? Okay, so traditional BI or traditional analytics will always answer this type of question: what is happening? Like, what is your revenue over quarter? What is how is your revenue increasing over quarter, over month? What is your earnings from different product? So this type of information, is very obvious information. This is present in your data. You are representing this type of information with the help of pie chart, bar plots, line plots, distribution plot. Okay, but what is happening here? You are showing something, or you are representing something which is pretty much obvious, and you are simply representing it in effective way. Anyone who can look at the data can also tell the same thing that you are representing, but you are representing it in efficient way, in the effective way. That is traditional business intelligence or traditional analytics. Now, how data science is making a difference? Data science is not going to talk about what is happening only, but data science is going to talk about two more important questions about the data. Second question is exact, if it is happening, then exactly why it is happening. So data science will be able to answer this question: if something is taking place, do we have any justification behind that? It will try to answer why it is happening or how it is happening, which traditional BI or traditional analytics will not be able to answer. Third important question that data science is going to answer: what is going to happen in future? So not only what is happening, it will answer why it is happening and what will happen in future. So suppose if you are, representing the earnings, the revenue of the organization, traditional BI can help you to represent, what is current revenue is by product, by business, by geography. But data science will be able to answer why the revenue of a particular product is more in one geography or more in one business as compared to other. Also, data science will be able to predict what product is going to earn more revenue in future. Okay, so that is the difference here. That is the difference between the obvious type of information and the insight. Okay, so that is where data science is making the difference. Data science is using your data present in different format, and data science then using the techniques, technologies, process drawn from the variety of areas of science in order to extract this type of unobvious insights about the data. Okay, it will give you the reason, it will give you the prediction that traditional BI or traditional analytics will not be able to do. Okay, so in short, we can say data science employs the technique theories drawn from wide range of disciplines like mathematics, statistics, information science, computer science, or anything. Okay, science is very wide, science is very vast. So whatever tools, technology, process, theory, algorithm, anything that you can use along with your data, at the top your data, with 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 the thought process in the mind to answer or to implement certain machine learning or data science related domain like classification analysis, association analysis, cluster analysis, data mining, data forecasting, advanced visualization. So these are some specific areas, or these are some specific subdomains within data science, using which you actually implement data science or machine learning solutions in order to extract some unobvious type of insights or knowledge present in your data. Okay, so I hope that should be helpful to all of you to understand exactly what is data science and how is it different from the traditional BI and traditional analytics. We can say data science is data and science when you combine data and science together in order to extract the knowledge, in order to extract some unobvious findings about the data, then it becomes data science. Okay, so please feel free to raise your questions or queries if anyone have any so far, and I will definitely have a look at your queries in timely manner. Okay, so I hope everyone is good so far. I haven't got any questions as of now related to the topics we are discussing. So let us go ahead and talk about the next slide. Okay, so I'm getting some questions like, can .NET developer jump into data science? How is machine learning different from artificial intelligence? Okay, so yeah, basically, we are going to talk about all these career related or career path related questions in the upcoming slide. So please be patient about that. Okay, and regarding the question which is I think relevant here, so I can take this right away. So how the machine learning is different from artificial intelligence according to you for data science? Okay, and according to you for data science work, one must have a deep knowledge of theories of the particular subject apart from programming. Yeah, so let me answer this question. Okay, very big question. So basically, firstly, let us try to understand how data science is different from artificial intelligence. Okay, so I won't say like artificial intelligence is something different. Okay, but in case of artificial intelligence, basically your scope will become more wide. in Instead of solving a particular type of problem with the help of machine learning approaches, you would be more interested in automation or like robotics processing. Okay, so whenever you are, mainly in case of AI, you will find that you are going to mix machine learning along with the hardware, and then you combine these two things together in order to come up with AI specific solution. machine learning and data science are more specific to data. Okay, here our focus is data, here our focus is going to be the business. Rather than producing or rather than coming up with some new business, we are going to help the existing business of the organization in order to answer certain business specific questions which can be very helpful for the organization. AI is all about using machine learning to come up with a range of products, or to come up with a totally new area of business. That is going to be something for those organizations who are working in the fields of AI, to launch new product, to launch new intelligence system platforms and hardwares. Okay, maybe most of many companies, many organizations are working nowadays on IoT devices, so that can be understood as a part of AI and machine learning together. Okay, data science is going to focus about solving the problems, about interpreting the data to help the organization, to help the business. Okay, so I hope your question is answered. So let us go ahead and now talk about the next slide, and that is going to talk about what exactly you are supposed to learn. Okay, so I can see some questions about from the aspirants who want to get into data science. So the confusion is actually data science is talking about too many different things altogether. Exactly what am I supposed to learn as a newbie, as a data science aspirant? Okay, basically, while working on a data science project, you are supposed to work on different type of activities, or different phases. So a data science project can be divided among different tasks or different activities. While working on a data science project, you work on these different activities. Okay, so based on these different activities, we will try to understand which tools and which technologies are used while working on different activity, so that it will be very helpful for you to understand exactly what you need to learn. Okay, because there is no straightforward answer, is there correct answer is there to this question, like what am I supposed to learn. If someone is giving you this answer, okay, you are supposed to learn Python in order to become a data scientist, I won't say it is correct answer. Okay, there are too many other things. Okay, so let us try to understand exactly what activities are performed, and based on that we will try to understand what someone is supposed to learn. Okay, so firstly, data engineering. When you start with a data science project, and actually when you start with the actual implementation part, the coding part, most tedious and most important work is to process the data, engineer the data, transform the data. For a data science project, your data can be present in different format, it can be present in different sources. Firstly, you are supposed to integrate that data, join that data, merge that data coming from different sources. According to your requirement, you are supposed to transform that data. You sometime aggregate the data, you sometime clean the data, you perform some data massaging operations, you perform data cleaning operation, you perform some data handling operations, and then you finally load or finally create a final data structure, final data set that can be used for your machine learning or data science model development. This entire process of extracting the data, cleaning the data, merging the data, joining the data, transforming the data, and load the data is known as the ETL process: extract, transform, and load. That is why extract, transform, and load, or ETL operation, is considered as one of the very important aspect of a data science project. When you are working, at least in some big organization or industry, where you are going to deal with the real data, not the data that we generally see in case of use cases, or in case of some you know tutorials. So if you are like using one file, couple of files with 1,000 records, 10,000 record, that is not the real data at real scale. In reality, when you work on a data science project for the business, you are going to deal with millions of record, even billions of record. You can you will deal with GBs of data. Okay, so sometimes some organizations have a proper ETL system in place, or if it is not there and data is present in the independent sources, then you will have to build an ETL channel or ETL system using which you can achieve this data engineering task. Sometimes your data is present already in some data lake environment, and where you use some big data technologies like Hadoop, HDFS. So you will have to collect this data from big data environment, in the big data environment, in the form of some structured data. So maybe like you can use the hive tables, or you can further aggregate the data, transform the data, and produce a final file or something as well that can be used. But some sort of mechanism, some sort of ETL process, whether the regular ETL tool like Informatica, Pentaho, Talent, BODS. So this type of tools, ETL tools, sometimes you use, or sometimes you use some big data tools, and then you finally translate your data, transform your data in the correct format so that it can be used for model building purpose. So that is all about data engineering. As a data scientist, as a senior data scientist, actually you will not work on this particular phase directly, but as a data scientist, your responsibility is to guide the ETL team or data engineering team, like how the data is supposed to be transformed. Okay, so for this particular piece of work, if you have some knowledge of ETL or PL SQL concept, then that is going to be very, very helpful for you. PL SQL concept I considered as the mandatory skill in order to get into data science, because most of the time you are going to deal with the structured data present in the form of tables, raw and columns. So having the PL SQL knowledge, ETL knowledge is definitely going to help you a lot. I'm not saying that you should learn ETL tool or big data technologies for sure. No, but you should be having basic or intermediate level understanding of PL SQL concept. Okay, at a prototype level, generally, when you start with a data science project, then this type of data engineering stuff is also done at lower scale. Okay, at lower scale, at low scale, this type of data engineering thing can also be done with the help of some statistical tool like Python or R. Okay, but the important thing is that you can do this type of data engineering only at very small scale with the help of Python or R. If you really want to transform or process your data, engineer your data, you will have to use some specialized ETL tool or big data tool. Okay, so you will from data engineering point of view, you should be able to work on some statistical tool for prototyping like Python, and PL SQL knowledge is highly important to work on data engineering stuff. Next comes data analysis. Now, data analysis is very critical and very, very important part of, or very, very important activity of a data science project. So a data analyst is responsible to perform different type of analysis. Like he would perform the exploratory data analysis or EDA in order to understand the underlying data, in order to understand the trends present in the data, in order to understand the correlation present between the target variable and features. He will perform predictive and descriptive analysis. So many a times, business is more keen towards answering certain questions about the data rather than making some prediction. That is known as like descriptive analysis. So you are not only supposed to work on some machine learning solution all the times, but sometimes you are supposed to perform some sort of descriptive analysis as well. So here in this type of analysis, like exploratory data analysis, descriptive analysis, predictive analysis, you need some statistical programming language like Python. Okay, and you can also use R or SAS, but yeah, Python is leading the way nowadays. So Python is going to be sufficient to perform all this type of analysis. Next comes statistics and probability, and this is the area where most of the aspirants, most of the aspiring data scientists are lagging behind. And the reason is statistics and probabilities are not only sometimes little challenging to understand, but also not a lot of information, or not a lot of references or materials are available which directly connect the concepts of statistics and probability with data science and machine learning. When some aspirants is starting studying statistics and probability, he or she would notice there is too much to learn. Okay, so statistics is like a sea. When you dive, you go down and down and down, there is no end, right? But exactly which portion of a statistic or which part of a statistics is important from data science or machine learning point of view, that is missing. Okay, and how to utilize that knowledge of a statistics to work on a data science or machine learning project, that is something which nobody know, or which is missing, okay, in the trainings, in the tutorials available nowadays. So that is something which is a missing link here. Okay, but when you work on statistics and probability, when you want to utilize statistics and probability in order to support your data science or machine learning requirement, you need some statistical tool, you need some statistical programming language like Python, which has all the libraries of statistics available, so that you can utilize those libraries and you can support your data science or machine learning analysis. Okay, so some of the concepts from statistics like inferential statistics, distribution analysis, and hypothesis testing, covariance analysis, these are some very important concepts of statistics which are implemented in data science and machine learning as it is. Okay, so knowledge of statistics and probability related concepts are very important. At the same time, and for the same reason, we need some statistical programming language which has all these libraries and packages available, using which we can utilize the statistics and probability related concepts. Okay, and Python has got all the libraries to support your statistics and probability related requirements. Next comes the analytics and visualization. Analytics and visualization is the face of data science and machine learning project. Whatever you do, whatever you analyze, whatever you implement, whatever you predict, at the end of the day, you showcase that, at the end of the day, you represent that with the help of some advanced visualization, interactive visualization. Okay, that is the face of your data science or advanced analytics or machine learning project. So we need some statistical programming language which is not only able to provide the solution, but it should be able to provide a way using which you can produce the output, the visual output, the interactive output. And Python is very, very rich in visualization and analytics. It has got some very important visualization packages like matplotlib, plotly, seaborn, with the help of which you can produce all sort of visual and analytics related outputs. Apart from that, nowadays we have got some very interesting visualization tools in the market, for example Tableau. Okay, so I would suggest you, apart from learning some statistical tool like Python for visualization and analytics purpose, a data scientist should also have hands-on experience on some visualization tool like Tableau. Okay, so Tableau is available for a trial period of 1 month on Tableau website itself. So you can download Tableau on your personal machine, and then you can also have the training videos available at Tableau website, and you can have some basic knowledge of Tableau. That is highly recommended from our side. Finally comes the machine learning, the core part or the engine of data science. With the help of machine learning, basically you choose a particular algorithm from mathematics and statistics. You apply that algorithm, or you apply that basically algorithm at the top of the data that you have generated from your data engineering pipeline. So you apply that algorithm on your data, you merge the data with algorithm, and finally the product is known as model. So what is machine learning model? Machine learning model is nothing but the combination of algorithm and your data with some proper parameter tuning. So you tune the parameters of the algorithm, and the final product is known as the machine learning model. So basically, you need some statistical programming language which provides you all the libraries and functionalities to implement all type of machine learning algorithms on your data. And Python has got all the libraries using which you can apply all sort of algorithms which are required from machine learning point of view on your data very easily, with all the parameters and functionalities available. Apart from these statistical programming languages, some big organizations like Microsoft, SAP, they have come up with their own integrated development environments to support the machine learning requirements. So like Microsoft has got Azure and machine learning studio, SAP has got SAP predictive analytics. Okay, so these are some examples of integrated development environment which provides you kind of a GUI based system or solution using which you can simply drag and drop the algorithms data, and you can very easily work on a data science or machine learning project. But I would recommend to get full awareness or full knowledge of some statistical programming language like Python rather than learning some GUI. If you have the basic foundation, you can work on any IDE. But if you are good only with some IDE, then you would not be able to work on some raw programming languages like Python or R, and you would not be able to design the solution or implement the solution using the raw programming languages. So it is always better to learn something raw, which is to learn something which is basic, which is the base of all these GUI based solution. Apart from all these technical thing, okay, and all the tools and technology that I mentioned above, one should have a proper understanding of business, that is known as the domain knowledge. And domain knowledge is something that definitely you cannot learn using some course, using some books. It is something that you earn over the period of time when you work on different projects, when you work on different business problems, when you work on different type of problems belonging to different industry verticals. So gradually over the period of time you learn the business knowledge and domain knowledge, but that is also something which is expected from a data scientist. Maybe some data scientist can be very good in one particular domain like BFSI or healthcare, and another one can be very good in other domain like aviation, infrastructure, asset management, something like that, right? But yes, at least couple of domain knowledge of couple of domains is highly recommended. So whenever you are working in a project, even if you are a technical folk, it is highly recommended to all of you to not to skip the domain knowledge or business knowledge. Whenever you come across a particular terminology, a functional knowledge, just go ahead and try to make yourself as much comfortable with the business knowledge, with the domain knowledge as much as you can. Okay, so here I would like to conclude this particular slide. I hope it must have answered many of the questions asked by many people about the tools and technologies. Please let me know if you have any questions, anything related to this particular slide. So let me see what questions we have got already. Okay, I got one interesting question. The Aadhaar biometric system comes under data science or not? I would say it does not come under data science project, because Aadhaar biometric system is a way using which we are storing the unstructured data. Okay, now suppose if using this particular project or using this particular data of biometric information, further we utilize this information and start using it for making some prediction, start using it to answer certain unobvious type of questions, or we can start using it to extract some very interesting information out of it. And I'm not sure if the government or if the authority is already doing this or not. Then storing the biometric information is not a data science thing, but then further using it in order to answer certain question, in order to make some prediction, then it will become a data science. Okay, so Akash, I think your question is already answered. Okay, so you have asked what other, apart from programming languages, what else you are supposed to learn. So I have already covered this question. So I think you should be good now. Okay, now people are asking what is ETL. So yeah, I will come to that point. Okay, one question is data structure and algorithm related to data science. So not exactly data structure, but data structure of different programming languages. Like when you are working on Python, then all the data structures which are available in Python is something that you would be interested in, right? So you should know the data structure available in any programming languages. Then all algorithms are related to data science. Yes, so algorithms are the foundation of machine learning. So yes, it is related to data science. Okay, what is SPSS? So SPSS is a product from IBM for data science and machine learning related project implementation. How does deep learning use statistical concept? So deep learning is again based on the neural network. It is based on many algorithm like gradient descent, gradient boosting, which are again based on the foundation of statistics. So it uses certain algorithms which are based on the concepts of statistics. That is why deep learning is also using the concept of statistics. As Python is open source, how we secure it is to use for critical healthcare. Uh, Let me make it a little bit large so I can read it. Critical healthcare or banking data analysis. Python is open source, Ashutosh, but definitely you are not supposed to use your data or load your data to public cloud or open source platform. You can install the Python in your on your servers present in your in-house servers, okay, in your in-house environment. So because it is open source, it doesn't mean that it is going to load your data outside your organization. You can control it very well like any other open source without any issue. The transport domain come under data science project like US tolling system and parking management system. So yeah, Hemant, as I mentioned earlier, any domain, any business, which can utilize the concepts of statistics, math, science, programming languages in order to make any descriptive or predictive analysis, can come under data science. So regardless of the domain, you can utilize data science everywhere. Okay. Okay, what kind of project under the data science? What do I need to learn first, PL/SQL or ETL? So let me now explain what is ETL. So I think that is the question from most of the people. So ETL is extract, transform, or load. A very common tool which is used for this process is Informatica. So Informatica is just an example. Apart from Informatica, we have some other ETL tool as well. But basically, while working on a data science project, you are supposed to extract data, get the data from different sources, right? You can have one table present in Microsoft SQL Server, one table can present in Oracle system, some data can be present in the form of CSV file, XML file, or whatever. But at the end of the day, while working on a data science project, you need everything to be available at one place. So how can you do that? You can do it with the help of some ETL tool. So ETL tool is are capable to extract the data from different sources, combine the data, join the data, and transform the data. So you can do different thing with the data. You can aggregate the data, you clean the data, you massage the data, you do different type of operation on your data to finally make it available in the format so that it can be used for the machine learning model development. Okay, so definitely the foundation of ETL is PL/SQL. So if you are going to learn ETL, then firstly you will have to brush up your PL/SQL knowledge. And again, I am making it very clear, I am not asking you to learn an ETL tool completely. You should be having PL/SQL knowledge, and then you would be able to, work on some sort of ETL tool without any problem, because all the ETL tools are based on PL/SQL concept. In order to get into data science, you don't need to learn a particular ETL tool. Okay, if you know it already, it is going to be helpful. But in order to get into data science, you must know PL/SQL concept. So important is you know PL/SQL concept and basic idea of ETL. What is ETL? You don't need to learn an ETL tool. Okay. Okay, you know little bit R and SAS. Okay, so I think your question is clear. What is MATLAB? So MATLAB is a visualization platform, a paired tool, a proprietary tool which is used for mainly for visualization purpose, advanced visualization, interactive visualization. But nowadays, because Python has also got its visualization packages like Matplotlib, which is equivalent, which is the answer to MATLAB. Okay, so you don't need to learn some proprietary tool when the open source tool itself is giving you the better option. Okay, can I learn Python without the knowledge of PL/SQL or ETL? How to learn Python toolkit and open packages? Okay, so yes, there is no dependency between Python and PL/SQL. I am saying that as a data engineer, or while working on a data engineer stuff, you would need to know PL/SQL concepts, but there is no dependency. You can learn Python individually, independently, okay, in parallel with PL/SQL or ETL. To learn Python is an open source, and many good tutorials are available. Cognixia is also providing training on Python and Python with data science as well. So if you are interested, please feel free to get in touch with Cognixia support team, and they will be able to help you with your learning requirement, your training requirements. Hadoop could fit into which of these step in the data science play program? So, Dhruv, very good question. And Hadoop is basically a data management solution with the help of which you store the big data, unstructured data. So basically, it will be involved in data engineering phase, where you, with the help of Hadoop and Hadoop related technologies like Hive, like Kylo, like some other, you actually extract the data present in or stored in HDFS, okay, in the distributed mode. So basically it comes under data engineering. Is Power BI is data science visualization tool, not as such actually data science visualization tool, but it is a complete BI package which provides you all the BI, the entire BI solution, which is the best resource for deep learning concept, especially image recognition. So basically Python has got very useful libraries for working on images. You can use OpenCV, which is configurable with Python. You can use Keras, you can use TensorFlow. So all these deep learning platforms can be used for processing the unstructured data and especially images very well. Okay, so thank you all for your questions, and let us give a break to Q&A round, and now we can proceed further with the next slide, and that is going to be the prerequisites and target audience. Okay, so I can see some questions related to backgrounds, like my background is this, my background is that, am I suitable, am I not suitable. So now this is going to be the slide to all of your questions. Firstly, we will talk about those who are the most suitable candidates to get into data science. Okay, so anyone who is already working or who is already having the knowledge of data analysis, okay, or if your profile is data analyst, or if you are analytics expert, dashboard expert, or visualization expert, like you are working on some visualization tool like Tableau, like SAP business objects, or maybe ClickView, or TIBCO, Spotfire. So many visualization and analytics tools are already there. If in your day-to-day life, work life, you are working on these tools, you are quite familiar with the business intelligence, the analytics, then you are very suitable to get into data science. If you are working as a business intelligence developer or business intelligence architect, like your responsibility to provide the BI solution, your responsibility is to provide the BI architecture, build the BI architecture. You work on data warehouse, you work on ETL, you build the data warehouse, you work as a data warehouse engineer or ETL engineer or big data engineer, or you work on a big data platforms in some way. Then these are some roles, these are some areas, these are some folks who are very suitable to get into data science. Why? The answer is they are already working on some major and some very important phases of data science. As we discussed earlier in the last slide, there are different phases, there are different activities which are performed in a data science project. So if you are already comfortable with one of those phases, like you are already comfortable with ETL, with data engineering stuff, then you can very quickly learn the remaining thing and you can make very good progress. If you are already comfortable with the analytics and visualization, advanced visualization, then as well you can make very good progress by learning the remaining things, right? So these are those folks who are mainly working in the fields of business intelligence and visualization and analytics, which is nothing but the starting of data science. So basically before the emergence of data science, like 5 years back, 10 years back, we have we used to have business intelligence, which was quite hot nowadays at that point in time, sorry. Okay, so that was very hot at that point in time. Business intelligence, everyone was talking about business intelligence. So business intelligence is the foundation, business intelligence is the one step before the data science. So business intelligence was talking about extracting the useful information in the form of visual analytics by processing the data, by transforming the data. Now data science also talk about that, but in a little bit more refined way, in little bit more advanced way. That is why all those who are already familiar with one or more aspects of business intelligence, they are more suitable to get into data science. Okay, so if you are already from business intelligence background, so I congratulate, like you have already learned a lot, and now it is time that you utilize your knowledge and you proceed further with data science. Now suppose those who do not belong to any of these area, who do not have any knowledge, even the basic knowledge of these areas, then you will have to make sure you are fulfilling at least these three minimum criteria. First of all, do you have basic understanding of any programming language or not? I am not talking about Python or R. If you have working knowledge of, if you have understanding of programming concepts using any programming language like Java, like .NET, like C++, RDBMS concepts, then you are good enough to start your journey by learning Python and the theoretical concepts of data science. Okay. Second thing, if you have the basic knowledge of mathematics and statistics or not. If you are already from the mathematics background, the engineering background, I assume you must be having the knowledge of differential calculus, integrations, statistics and probability related concepts. If not, then you will have to learn little bit about these things. Okay, if you are already from mathematics background, no need, you will be able to grasp the thing very quickly. But if you are not from mathematics background, then you will have to put some efforts towards this before starting data science. Okay. Next, basic knowledge of reporting or visualization tool, very important. So if you are not from the BI background, it is important for you that you understand different type of basic visualization. At least you should know what is a line plot, when it is used, what is bar plot, what is histogram, what is correlation analysis plots, like scatter plot, okay, box plot. So different type of top plots or visualizations are used, analytics are used for different purpose in BI. So you should be having the basic understanding of business intelligence and analytics, and you can learn any reporting tool, any visualization tool like Tableau, in order to make yourself comfortable with visualization or analytics. So these are minimum criteria. This is the minimum requirement in order to get into data science. You have to have some programming knowledge, you have to have some knowledge of mathematics and statistics concepts, then you should be good in the visualization and reporting. If you have the basic, I'm not asking about the intermediate level understanding or advanced understanding. If you have the basic understanding or basic knowledge of these three area, you can start learning any statistical programming language like Python, and some more theory concepts from data science and machine learning, algorithms from machine learning, and then you combine all these things together in order to become a data scientist or data science professional. Okay. Apart from all these technical stuff, one should have great determination, dedications, consistency, and confidence. Okay. So you should determine, once you have decided I want to get into data science, you should be determined. Okay. You should determine, yes, I want to get into. Once you have determined, then you should show some dedications. You will have to show dedication towards learning different things. While learning data science and machine learning, there might be some areas which can be little bit challenging as compared to other. There are some areas which can be little boring as well. You will have to show the dedication. Not only dedication, you will have to be a consistent player. Whatever you have started, you will have to consistently complete that. You will have to take it to the end. And during this entire process of learning, you will have to show the confidence. Don't lose your confidence, don't lose your hope. It will happen, like some concepts, some things initially will not make sense to you, but believe me, if you are determined, if you are showing the consistency, then you will gradually become confident as well. Okay, I have seen many folks who have started their journey from the scratch. They knew nothing about data science in the beginning, and now they are expert. They are doing quite well in their fields, in their professional career. Okay. So having said that, I would like to conclude this slide as well, and let me see if we have got any relevant question from this particular slide. Okay, I'm currently working in Crystal Reports. Is it suitable for me to make a career on this? Yeah, for sure. I think Crystal Report is also about visualization and analytics only. So you are already working on one of the phase, one of the aspect of data science. So no worries, you are on right track. So you can feel free. Okay, is the third minimum criteria is undefined modeling language. So Praveen, Pavan, I think Pavan is the third minimum criteria is undefined. I'm not sure what exactly you mean. Will this slide will be shared? Yeah. So Naveen, I would request you to please get in touch with Cognexia support team, and they will be able to answer with all of the questions related to slide material or webinar recording. Okay, so I'm working in testing field as in this best for me. Is this best for me and to jump to other field? So Norhavza, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm not sure, according to you, if it is best or not, but you will have to judge yourself, like based on this particular slide. If you are having, the basic understanding of mathematics, programming languages, and visualization, I would say you can still start with. Data science and machine learning if it really attracts you. So there is nothing wrong with any particular tool technology area. It is all about the interest. If you feel attracted, if you are interested in data science or machine learning more than what you are currently doing, then definitely you can make give it a try. Okay, so there is no rule, there is no as such you know pros and cons. Okay, but it is all up to you. If you fulfill the basic criteria, the minimum criteria, and you are interested, it is if it is something that attracts you, you can get into. Okay, what would be the ideal duration required to learn and master the concepts for becoming a data scientist? Okay, so basically, I won't say that you can be a data scientist in 6 months, or I won't say that like if you can learn data Python programming, then you will become a data scientist. Always say data science is a journey. So once you start it, you will have to travel a long distance. You have to go very far. Okay, why? Because it is not a programming language, it is not just a theory concept, it is not just statistics, it is not just machine learning, it is not just visualization, it is a complete package of all these BI related stuff. Okay, so basically, over the period of time, you make yourself comfortable with different areas, then you continue this journey and make yourself comfortable with the missing area, the remaining area. So the journey is going to be continuous. There is no standard time frame like you will become a data scientist in 6 months or 12 months or 2 years. Depending on your efforts and interest, yeah, you can be comfortable and you can get the intermediate level knowledge of all these areas in the time period of like 1 to 2 years, if you are really showing the dedication and if you are consistent player. Okay, but beyond that, to get the expert level knowledge in all the areas, you will have to spend years and years. Okay, but yes, somewhere in the period of like 1 to 2 years would be sufficient to have the intermediate level skill set in all these areas. Any online material available free for learning Python? Yes, a lot of online materials are available free to learn Python, and basically, if you have a basic idea of Python programming, then you can use the websites, the official websites of different Python packages, like scikit-learn is there, then matplotlib.org is there. So different packages of Python have got their official websites. There a number of good training resources are available. Okay, so you can definitely uh, refer to these official websites. How much is the range salary for data scientist, junior data scientist in USD? So in specifically, if you are asking in USD, maybe you are more interested in getting job in US. So in US, as a junior data scientist, you can start your career with some starting or initial salary of around 75 to 80,000 US dollar. Okay, and it can go up to like 100 or 120,000 USD according to your experience and your expertise level. Does you started your career in data science only? So Pratik, okay, so no, I started my career as data engineer. I have worked on ETL tool, I have worked on visualization tool, then I worked as data architect. I worked as ETL architect as well for some time. Then I worked as data analyst, and finally then I started working as data scientist. So in my case, fortunately, I have started my career with something which is already related to data science, which is a part of data science. So I was able to get benefited out of it. Okay. So does okay. If I started working as analyst programmer, do you think it is possible to change career path to data analyst, data scientist? For sure, if you are an analyst programmer, definitely you are supporting the analytics and analysis related requirement for your organization. The logical next step for you is the data analyst only, and after data analyst, data scientist. Okay, I have 11 years of experience in ETL. What should be the best for me to start? Okay, so you have 11 years of experience in ETL. I assume you are expert of ETL, PL/SQL, and I hope you are also good in basic and intermediate level data analysis. The next step for you would be to make yourself comfortable with some visualization tool as well. Okay, so if you are already not comfortable with some visualization tools like Tableau, Spotlight, ClickView, have some knowledge of visualization, reporting, and dashboarding. After that, start learning statistical programming language like Python, and implement and start learning machine learning. Okay, how the machine learning algorithms, statistical algorithms are implemented in order to implement machine learning solutions. So these are going to be the next step for you in order to get into data science. Okay. uh, do we have any dependency on any specific operating system? No, as such. So, at least for the learners, for the aspirants, you can learn any of these statistical programming languages like Python or R, regardless of your operating system on Windows, Mac, or whatever you are using. Okay, but yes, in the industry, generally, you will find the Unix softwares, Unix operating system is used for the servers. So if you have some knowledge of Unix, it is going to benefit you a lot. I'm a fresher from core mechanical background and have little knowledge of SQL and Python. What should be my first step? If you already have a little understanding of Python, I would say the next logical job profile for you would be a data engineer, and I would suggest you to get a good command over Python programming, and you can be you can get a data engineer job, a data engineer role, or a Python programmer role in the data science team in your future. Okay. Okay, so I would like to conclude, this Q&A round here, and it is time to proceed further, and let us see what do we have next. Okay, so now we are going to talk about data science project life cycle. Okay, so most of you must be wondering like exactly how all these things are combined together. You have talked about machine learning, you have talked about data engineering, you have talked about data analysis, you have talked about visualization, but finally how all these things are connected with each other, and finally how the data science project is implemented. So data science project implementation or data science project lifecycle can be understood very well with the help of very famous data mining project model, which is known as CRISP-DM, cross industry standard process for data mining. So that was a pack that was a project that was started in late 1996. At that point in time, different industry, different organizations were using different methodologies or different standards to implement data mining project. So there were no standards available. Different businesses were using different way to implement data mining project. There was the requirement to come up with the standard steps or standard procedure, standard model using which all the organizations can execute yeah, their data mining project, and across all the industries the same standard can be followed. So at that point in time, a committee was formed, and then a data and a standard model to execute or to implement a data mining project is formed, is built, and that is known as CRISP-DM model, cross industry standard process for data mining. Okay, so now we are going to talk about different phases of this particular model, because data mining is the foundation of data science. So this model can be utilized or can be used for the implementation of data science project without any issues. Okay, so this is something which is referred and which is used by most of the data scientists across the globe to implement the data science project. Okay, so let us see how it describes the execution of data science project, what different phases, activities are performed throughout the execution of the data science project according to CRISP-DM model. CRISP-DM model starts with the very first phase, which is business understanding phase. Business understanding phase is all about understanding the business problem from business point of view. In this particular phase, data scientists, data analysts, and business analysts are involved, and they talk about the problem the business is going through or the expectation the business is having. At the end of the day, they formulate a business requirement document or business requirement definition. They come up with a very clear objective in business language, like what is business looking for. Your focus in this particular phase will be to understand the business and their requirement in business language. Followed by the business understanding, we have data understanding phase. Data understanding phase is all about knowing your data. So from this particular step, you actually start working on the solution side. You analyze your data, and the most critical part of this particular phase is data analyst. A senior data scientist or senior data analyst will lead this particular phase, and the expectation will be to understand the data from the business requirement point of view, whether you have all the required data available to address the business requirement or not, and whatever data is available, are you able to understand that data or not. So that is all about understanding the problem from data point of view. Now next comes the data preparation phase, which is also known as data pre-processing or data engineering phase. And this is something which is all about the coding and transformation or ETL, whatever we have talked about earlier, right? In this particular phase, you collect the data coming from different sources, you integrate the data, you join the data, you merge the data, you transform the data, you clean the data, and finally you make the data available in the format so that it can be used by the modeling phase. You can build the model, you can train the model on this data. Okay, so data preparation is nothing but data engineering or data pre-processing. Next comes the modeling. This modeling phase is not the data modeling. So you should not understand it is data modeling where you design the table, schema, relationship. No, this is machine learning modeling. In this particular phase, you utilize or you select a particular algorithm from mathematics, from statistics, which is more relevant according to the given problem statement, according to your project requirement, and then you implement that algorithm at along with your data or at the top of your data, and the product is known as machine learning model. So this phase of building the machine learning model is known as the modeling phase. Depending on the requirement, you can use different type of algorithms like regression algorithm, classification algorithm, association algorithm, clustering algorithm, anomaly detection algorithm. So there are many algorithms are available. Depending on the use cases, you select most appropriate algorithm, you combine that algorithm with the data with the help of a statistical programming language like Python, and you build a model. So that is known as modeling phase. Then comes the evaluation phase. Evaluation phase is all about like system integration testing, right? So like in the regular software development project, after building the code, after writing the code, you perform the system integration testing whether everything is working fine according to requirement, all the different part of the project are working fine or not. Very similarly, in the evaluation phase, which is also known as like cross validation phase, you utilize different concepts of cross validating your model. You utilize some techniques to make sure your models are not suffering from some problems like common problems in machine learning like underfitting, overfitting. You make sure your model is doing all the job with all the accuracy, and your model is able to produce the outcome that business is looking for. So your model is in line with the business requirement. That is the evaluation or validation phase. Finally comes the deployment phase, and deployment phase is all about deploying the machine learning solution that you have built at the top of the your organization's ETL process or decision making process. Okay, so basically you build the model in the modeling phase, you evaluate the model in the evaluation phase. Whatever the evaluated and verified machine learning model you get after evaluation, you deploy that model in the production so that that model can be utilized for the new data, fresh data coming through the ETL pipeline or coming through the big data pipeline within your organization, and your model can utilize that fresh data, new data, and make the prediction about this new data coming in. Okay, depending on the requirement, sometimes you need deployment phase, sometimes you do not need deployment phase. Sometime while working on a data science project, the objective is to just perform some statistical analysis. Your requirement is to just perform, for example, some hypothesis testing. You are supposed to perform some descriptive analysis. So you are supposed to provide just one time solution, like one time clustering solution. Okay, and you don't need to as such deploy the model on production. So that also happens. So depending on the scope, depending on the objective, sometime you just provide the one time solution, or sometime you deploy the model so that you continuously receive the outcomes from the deployed model. So here I would like to conclude the crisp DM process model. I hope the overall life cycle of data science project should be clear to everyone. Please let me know if anyone is having any question here. So let me see what questions we have got. Okay, will it be suitable? Call the Python library in .NET and start machine learning. It can be done, but Vishal, it would not be suitable. Okay, so I would say if you want to utilize Python for machine learning, then why do you want to have the dependency of .NET rather than directly produce the Python program? Okay, so without involving .NET, but yes, it can be done. So the visualization tool will be used in any development phase only? No, the visualization tool can be used for deployment phase or post deployment as well, because with the help of deployment tool only you make the prediction. With the help of visualization tool only you produce the result. Sometime you present the result in the form of plot, in the form of chart, like you showcase the predicted or forecasting of the revenue, forecasting of the margin, profit margin or business, whatever, in the form of line plot, in the form of some bar plot, something like that, right? So visualization is used not only to understand the data but also to present your findings and present your predictions or final outcome. So I am a data engineer and I'm trying to apply machine learning algorithm. So my data on to my data. But choosing an algorithm, it's difficult to me and I don't know how algorithm are working. So yes, Sounder. So yes, I see this is a challenge basically, and this is something you will have to have some more knowledge of statistics concepts and machine learning, so that you can make this decision which particular algorithm is going to be more suitable in my scenario, in my situation. Okay, it seems you have the basic idea of machine learning and you are trying to implement machine learning. Okay, but before directly jumping to machine learning, I would suggest you to firstly make yourself comfortable with some foundation of machine learning, which is statistics. Okay, and then if you are comfortable with statistics once, then you will be able to make this decision very quickly, like which algorithm is more suitable and which algorithm is not suitable for my use case. I have different type of documents, multiple images, and have to identify, classify. Okay, please let us know specific tools to get data, statistics for model building in Python. Enough. Okay, I think you have two questions, Vishal. So firstly you are asking, I have different type of documents or images and you have to identify, classify. Please let us know specific tools to get data statistic. So basically if you have images, then you can work on some sort of image processing first. Okay, so you will have to understand the concept how the image data is processed, which is totally a different area within data science, image processing. Sometimes if your documents are going to have the textual information, some data extraction technique is used to extract the text information. If your images are going to have the object related information, then there are many machine learning libraries available in Python, using OpenCV, using some other packages like other platforms like Keras and TensorFlow. We have many libraries available with the help of which you can perform the image classification. Basically, firstly you will perform the model training by labeling those images, like which particular object is present in what particular image. It is a kind of supervised machine learning or deep learning only. Okay, and then you train your model or your neural network on these labeled images, and finally you will make the prediction by providing an image as input, and then your neural network or your trained model basically will make the prediction for the given image. Okay, I do not want to go with text extraction. So I think your approach is the second approach that I just mentioned. As you said, that state is vast area to dig in. No, how a non-state person like us will figure out how much to learn. The quickest and efficient way would be to get yourself enrolled for some data science or machine learning course like Cognixia is providing already data science with Python, where we are guiding the folks from the scratch, from the beginning, how exactly, or what different concepts you are supposed to learn in order to get into data science, what is mandatory, what is not mandatory. Okay, any processing tool in line removal. Vishal, this is an introductory session to get yourself or to make yourself comfortable with data science and Python and machine learning. For your specific requirement, I would love to have interaction with you. You can get in touch with Cognixia support team, and we can provide you all the details that you are looking for. It is very specific, and I think it should not be relevant with everyone here. Can you tell me about statistical power of sensitivity and how do you calculate it? So, Naman, again, a very specific question beyond the scope, but it is important question. If you want to get into detail, request you to please get in touch with our Cognixia support team. We have many courses going through. Okay, we have many online courses available that can be very helpful for you to answer this type of very specific question. Now Python is part of MS SQL Server 2007. Is it enough for practicing data science? So I'm not sure what exactly you mean. Now Python is part of MS SQL Server 2007, but yes, Python, any one programming language, a statistical programming language, is sufficient to work on most areas of machine learning, but Python is more than sufficient, and we are going to talk about all that next, like how Python is more than sufficient. Okay, so Naman, you are asking the same question and again, and my answer to you would be the same. Okay, so it is very specific question. I would not, due to the time constraint, I will not be able to answer this question right away. Otherwise, we will be able to, you know, we will not be able to complete the required topics in time. Python or R, which would you prefer for text analytics? Definitely Python. It has got a very good library, very good packages to perform the text analytics. Not only text analytics, text extraction, and uh, extracting the trend present in the text. All for all sort of text analysis, Python has got great libraries and great packages. So no doubt, Python is way better. Okay, so I think we do not have any other relevant questions as of now. So let us go ahead and uh, go ahead with the last topic for today, which is Python and how Python is helping to implement and design machine learning and data science solutions efficiently, effectively, and it is way how it is way ahead in the rest as compared to other statistical programming language. So let us try to understand this. What is expected from a perfect statistical programming language nowadays. Okay, so these are some expectation, and based on these expectation we will try to evaluate Python, like where Python is standing against all these expectation. The first important expectation is easy data extraction and effective data management. So definitely, while working on data science or machine learning project, your first requirement would be to extract the data, to get the data, process the data, and manage the data. Second is specially designed data structure for numeric computations. Yes, so when we work on data science or machine learning project, we don't work on atomic data structure. We need some composite data structure. We need some data structure on which we can directly perform the computational mathematical computations. Like we need matrix, we need arrays, we need data frames. So this type of spatially designed data structure should be available. Then we need machine learning libraries. Yeah. So basically in data science, the core engine is machine learning. And in machine learning, we need algorithms, the implementation of algorithm. So in a statistical programming language should provide you all the required algorithms that you are going to need to implement different machine learning models. Then we need advanced data exploration and visual analytics. Finally, you represent not only finally, but also you analyze your data, you understand your data with the help of visual analysis and analytics. And finally, you produce the results or outcome in the form of visual analytics. So there as well, right? You need like here as well, you need some statistical programming language which can provide you some sort of visual and analytic solution using which you can produce the visual and analytics. Then we need APIs to support big data integration. So nowadays, even in fact, ETL platforms are limited. Nowadays, we are mainly dealing with data lake. We are mainly dealing with the big data platforms and big data environments. So the programming language or the statistical programming language should have great connectivity. It should be integrated with all sort of big data platforms like Hadoop, like Hive, the clusters, big data clusters. So it should be easily deployable at the top of any big data environments. Then we need advanced deep learning packages. So after machine learning, we have deep learning. So if the statistical programming language is doing good enough in machine learning, that is not the end. After that, we have deep learning, AI. So for that, we need some programming language which has got all the packages and APIs available to implement the neural network based solution or deep learning solutions. So that is also expected. Easy application development and deployment. Finally, when you build the entire solution after going through all these steps, all these phases of data science, you should need an static you will need an statistical programming language using which you can develop the final application. You can develop the solution. You can develop some web solution so that it can be used by the end users. So you also need application development and deployment. So these are the major expectations from any statistical programming language. If any programming language, statistical programming language, is lagging behind in any of these area, then it might not be the best suitable programming language. Okay, now let us try to understand how Python is doing, okay, against all these areas. Firstly, data extraction and effective data management. So Python has got some very good data structures or composite data structure or scientific data structures like libraries available, using which you can not only handle, you can not only store this type of composite data structure like arrays, n-dimensional arrays, tables or data frames, but also you can perform the effective data extraction. So we have got NumPy, which is nothing but the data structure used to perform the numeric to store the data in the form of numeric arrays and perform the numerical computations related operations on n-dimensional arrays. We have pandas, which is nothing but a solution, a data structure to store and to process the structured data present in the form of row and column. Also we have beautiful SOP available in Python, which is used to extract and manage the data present in the form of XML or HTML type. So generally, like other statistical programming languages like R, we do not have any ready-made data structure available, or functions available to extract the data from XML or HTML type of sources. But yes, Python has got beautiful SOP. Okay, so we have got uh, all the solutions available as far as data extraction and data management is concerned. What is next? Then we have machine learning libraries. So yes, machine learning libraries are important because your statistical programming language is ultimately going to utilize the standard algorithms. So you should have some machine learning libraries available. It should not happen the algorithm that you are looking for is not available in the form of functions, in the form of library. So in Python we have scikit-learn. Scikit-learn is one place solution for all the required machine learning libraries and packages. So you don't need to go anywhere else. As far as your machine learning requirements are concerned, you will find all the required functions or libraries for all the statistical algorithms. Then advanced data exploration and visual analytics. So earlier, before the emergence of open source programming languages like Python and R, MATLAB was the only option to perform the advanced visualization and data science related visualization and analytics. But with the emergence of open source technology like in Python, we have got some great libraries, visualization libraries and packages available. For example, we have got matplotlib, which is the answer to MATLAB. Then we also got plotly, we got seaborn, which are the app, not only the visualization package, but with the help of them you can also develop the visual and analytics application which can be deployed over the cloud, which can be used in the form of web application. Okay, so all this type of advanced visualization solution Python is providing. Okay, what else? So after machine learning, you need deep learning. And if you talk about deep learning, if you are aware of deep learning, then definitely you should know that TensorFlow, Keras, OpenCV, these are the leading APIs. These are the leading platforms which are used nowadays in the fields of deep learning and neural network. And the good thing about Python is that all these deep learning API, all these deep learning packages are fully compatible with Python. You will not be able to use all these packages with any other statistical tool with all the efficiency like R or SAS, but Python has got all type of integration. Python has got all type of compatibility with all these packages, and you can use any of these packages and build your advanced machine learning or deep learning solutions at the top of these deep learning packages without any issues. Finally, it comes the easy application development and deployment. So yeah, Python is doing very good job everywhere, but what about the application development? So some of you might have heard about R Shiny. So R Shiny is very good platform which is used generally by the R programmers. It is used for Python program deployment as well, but generally it is used to deploy the machine learning or advanced analytic solution implemented in R. So R Shiny is a platform using which you can convert your model, your solution in the form of application, and you can deploy that solution in the form of web application. So earlier, before the emergence of these latest application development framework like Flask and Django, okay, it was a practice that people used to develop the machine learning and visualization solution or advanced visualization solution in Python, but then it was used to deployed with the help of R Shiny, because there was no such specific application development framework available which is compatible, directly compatible with Python. So this alternative was used. But nowadays, with the emergence of application development framework like Django and Flask, you don't need to use R Shiny anymore, but you can directly use these application development framework which are fully compatible with Python, and you can build your APIs, you can build your web application, your customized application with all the perfections with the help of Django and Flask. So here we are right on time, and we would like to conclude this last part of this webinar, which was how Python is emerging as the great answer or great option as a statistical tool, a statistical programming language for data science and machine learning. Now it is time for your specific questions related to Python, as well as any other questions that you would like to ask related to today's webinar. So anything you can ask here which is relevant, and now we are going to fully concentrate on your questions only. So let me see what questions we have got so far. What are the database support data science? So very generic question. I would not be able to answer this generically, okay, but yes, statistical programming language like Python and R, it has got compatibility with many of the database system, and basically it provides the ODBC connection facility as well. So ODBC is supported by all the database systems. So regardless of your database platforms, you can connect Python with any database systems. Apart from the native APIs, you also have ODBC connection connectivity available. What is deep learning? Deep learning is neural network based learning. So after machine learning, when you other than supervised and unsupervised machine learning approaches, when you start using neural network based learning, where you don't explicitly train your machine learning model, rather than you use neural network based learning approach, where your neural network or your learning solution, your machine learning model will learn from the data on its own, then that is known as deep learning. Where to learn Python free other than Cognixia? So you can learn Python free. The best answer would be using the official websites of different Python communities. So like you have a scikit-learn website available, you have matplotlib website available, official website, you have official website of Plotly, you have official website of Seaborn, you have official website of SciPy, you have official website of NumPy, Pandas. So yeah, these are the free and the most trusted resources to learn Python for free. Shall we develop a model that can learn on fly? I mean, can learn with new unexpected data? Not possible in machine learning, but in deep learning, yes, up to certain extent. Can we generate random numbers in Python? If yes, so how? So you have from SciPy you have packages available random, and you have rand-n function. With the help of, you can generate the random data from normal distribution. Very similarly, you have random number generating functions and libraries available which can generate a random number from uniform distribution, from normal distribution, from other type of distributions as well. Okay, so refer to SciPy library and its functions, you will find. If not, SAS and R better for advanced analytics on numerical data over Python? Is not SAS and R better for advanced analytics on numerical data over Python? Uh, I won't say that directly R or SAS are better. Okay. Overall Python is better because Python is not growing in one particular direction but all the direction. The problem with SAS or R is they are generally considered as prototyping tool, where a data scientist or analyst can work on a data science or machine learning problem independently, rather than or in to build the prototype. But Python is something using which nowadays all these data science and machine learning solutions are being deployed. So Python is not talking about only prototyping, but Python is also talking about the practical implementation. It has got better integration, it has got better interaction with other technologies and database management systems, big data platforms, ETL platforms, as compared to SAS and R. So considering the overall requirement, I would say Python is doing way better job. Very specific to advanced analytics, then visualization capabilities definitely for Python is better than SAS and R. It has got multiple options, not just one. Like in case of R, for advanced visualization, you have ggplot2 and plotly. Here you have plotly and matplotlib and seaborn. So definitely Python is doing better over there. If you talk about specifically numerical data computation, then whatever data structures are available in R, like vector, we have data frame, we have correspondingly in Python as well. For vector, we have NumPy. For data frame, we have pandas. So I don't see any aspects where Python is lagging behind, whether it is about advanced visualization or numerical computation. Okay. Okay, so Naman, I think I have already answered this question. How do we generate random numbers? Okay. Okay, sir, I understand the concept of all three, but what is the difference between Django, Pyramid, and Flask? So, very specific question, Naman. I would not be able to answer this right away. These are simply different application development frameworks. So, definitely, from the implementation wise, from the solution wise, they will differ, but the objective is same. Okay, maybe one a platform is going to give you better options in terms of application development, and one platform can give you better options in terms of application deployment. Okay, so you will have to go into detail specifically to each and every framework if you want to perform a comparative analysis which is beyond the scope. Okay, what are the libraries in Python or R for the GPU implementation and or parallel processing for the vast data set? I would suggest you to use Spark. Okay, so rather than using any packages or libraries nowadays in the business, at the organization level, for parallel processing for huge data, you know everyone is using a Spark. So Spark can be used using Python. Spark can be used with R, along with R as well. So that is the answer. That is something which is being used by everyone nowadays in the industry as far as the parallel computation or big data is concerned. Okay, do we need to go through all the Python packages library for data science, or there are specific ones like you mentioned in the slide? Any way to figure it out regularly? So Ashutosh, there is no standard answer available to your question. Like there is not an standard list of packages available, but yes, depending on your requirement, for visualization you can use matplotlib. For plotly or seaborn, For numeric computation, you can use NumPy. Data frame, you can use Pandas. You can use for application development like Django, Flask. You can use machine learning. You for machine learning, you can use and statistics. You can use SciPy, then scikit-learn. So for different areas, we have different libraries and packages available. Whatever I mentioned in the presentation is minimum. These are going to be the libraries that you will use for these purpose, but according to your requirement you can use some more packages and libraries as well. Okay, will you provide origins any free session organize, okay, any free sessions on Python? You can definitely get in touch with Cognexia support team. Frequently we organize this type of webinars and free sessions, so whenever we are going to organize another session on Python programming, you will be informed. Thank you for your valuable session. Thank you, Vishal. Okay, Dhruv, thank you. What advantage do NumPy array offer over Python list? So, good question, Naman. Python list do not provide you the flexibility to perform the numerical computation on composite data structure. Like list is composite data structure, but you cannot operate two lists together. You cannot perform the numerical computations on two lists, okay, just like vectors in R. That is why we have NumPy array, because NumPy array can be utilized just like vectors in R. You can perform all sort of calculation directly onto NumPy array. Okay, so it is like one on one calculation, element wise calculation, which is not possible with list, but it is possible with NumPy array. So, any other questions from anyone? If not, then I would like to thank you all from my side on behalf of Team Cognexia for making this session a great success. I enjoyed this session a lot. I hope all of you, enjoyed this session, and I thank you all for your participation. In future, I would hope we will get in touch again through some webinars or through some trainings, whatever. Okay, so it was great. Thank you everyone. Thanks all for your all the positive comments. I'm getting all the positive comments from everyone. Okay, so thank you all for your participation, for your feedback, for your questions. Thank you everyone. Great. Thank you everyone. Thanks.